Well, one of the most popular talk radio show hosts in the nation saw his broadcast taken down nationwide yesterday. This is absolutely remarkable, totally insane, and the evidence that massive censorship is here. Now, I'm talking about radio host Michael Savage of the Savage Nation. It's a nationally syndicated talk show, the second most listened to radio talk show in the country. 20 million people listen regularly on 400 stations across the United States. Now, yesterday, he was talking about his perspectives on the upcoming presidential debate, and he was also discussing Hillary Clinton's mysterious health condition. He started kind of getting into whether or not it's Parkinson's. So in the middle of his broadcast, without any notification, the station there that's carrying it in the tri-state area, WABC Radio TV, they cut Savage off right in the middle of his broadcast and immediately replaced him with a lesser-rated Curtis and Kuby show. And according to the broadcast that Michael Savage was able to get out, he's hearing them laughing about the fact that they're a part of this coup that's, taking down the Savage Nation. And so as Michael Savage is talking this out in real time about how his show is being censored, cut down in the New York area, immediately all of the affiliates nationwide took down his show. So this was a massive show of power by these networks that were able to cut off his broadcast, a very popular broadcast, immediately without any notice, nationwide, a show of force to say, look, we are in charge here. You shall not speak about Hillary Clinton's health. And of course, Matt Drudge did warn about this massive censorship and the fact that they are shoving people into these ghettos because they want to consolidate the power. And this is the kind of massive effect that we could see, that someone like Michael Savage could have his entire broadcast shut down. Now, Margaret Howell joins the show now, and I wanted to really get into, this is Hillary's America. She has already kind of put it out there in her alt-right speech that she's coming after anyone that she deems to be a part of this mythical alt-right. Any dissenting voices, any politically correct opinions are going to be shut down, and we're starting to see that across the board.
What an act of desperation to be able to, go after him in such a coup. It was pure sabotage. And look, we know that the mainstream media, they're her #1 campaign volunteer, and they are in an all-out war right now to make sure that you don't hear the truth. And all he really did, Leanne, was just question her health, question the effects of a drug that's related to Parkinson's, and say, is this why she's having these symptoms? Because she's exemplifying them, and yet we know that this is a possible link. He didn't even actually indict her on having Parkinson's because no medical record has been released that's actually true. So,
this is the same thing that happened with Dr. Drew Pinsky. He speculated as well, and we saw his very popular show got taken off of the air.
They have no problem cutting people midstream. Breonna Keeler, she questioned Clinton on the air. It was immediately cut. Same thing with Savage here, and you're absolutely right. Pinsky was mysteriously fired after a wildly popular HLN show for even questioning her health. So we know that the media elites in this country, they don't want us really getting to the bottom of this, especially 41 days before the election. So we need to squash anybody who might be a Trump surrogate in the media, especially if they have enough followers like Savage. I've listened to his show. It's very, very insightful and entertaining, 20 million strong. So let's just hope that his viewers come to bat for him, because he's clearly been the victim of pure sabotage.
Right. And this is kind of going into the broader scope here with this consolidation and how a lot of these tech giants have become basically public utilities and more powerful than governments in a lot of cases. And they are really pushing for the United States to relinquish its control over the internet. And here we have an open and free internet here because thanks to the fact that it's the jurisdiction is under the United States, but they're saying with passing it over, that is going to increase the power of foreign governments over the internet, and possibly these governments that would want to curb the ability for their population to access free and open information from non-biased sources, from alternative sources that aren't just those establishment propaganda channels that we've had to fight through here in the U.S. And the thing is that they're afraid that something like that is going to happen once we relinquish control, but it's already happening. We're seeing YouTube, Google, Twitter, across the board. They're already starting to implement this Orwellian censorship.
You're so right. So YouTube has this troll hero army that attacks people that they don't agree with publicly in these forums. But more importantly, the internet freedom is at stake here in this country because our own president, the traitorous act that he's committing as a part of his legacy. He's actually handing over power or freedom of the internet to ICANN, which we know that China and Iran are, board members of ICANN. And we also know that China, if they gain control over this aspect of our own internet, that websites, domain names like .mil and .gov are at stake, which affect our own national security. And it's also going to be housed in the same place where China controls its own internet. So you can only imagine what's going to happen there. Let me think. People that don't agree with our right to free speech are going to be controlling what we say on the internet.
Right.
Awesome.
And another kind of glaring fact, when we see these tech giants really pushing for the U.S. to hand over and go to globalists with the internet, is the fact that there are still billions of people in countries like India, Africa, some parts of Asia, where they don't even have access to the internet. So they know there's this whole burgeoning market yet that still has to be tapped into. However, their governments are not going to be okay with the citizens of those nations having the ability to access whatever information they so desire. We're already seeing in China how they massively censor the internet. You can't even access sites like Facebook. So it's really interesting how Lu Wei, who is the kind of overseer there of Chinese, their draconian censorship that they have over the internet there, he is kind of the overseer, and he met with Zuckerberg and Tim Cook in 2014, okay? Facebook, Apple, these are not even allowed in China. So why
Twitter.
are you meeting with these people? And that's because we've got this Orwellian thing coming down the pipeline. Paul Joseph Watson reported about how the White House was test piloting a program for Chinese-style ID system for internet users. So we can see what is happening, and it's got some frightening implications for even us here at InfoWars, frankly.
Because we try very hard to bring you the most accurate form of the truth, that's out there. And we put our necks on the line doing it, frankly, Leanne. But just going back to that point of China having control. So we know that countries like China and Iran, and Owen and I covered this at length, if they gain control, so they even censor their own populations. And what we've seen here in the U.S., we've been able to, in a way, question and nearly bring down, and we're still working on it, bring down Hillary Clinton and her campaign through the truth. So if they can censor that in their own nations, it would make sure that people can't question their own leaders. There's going to be a censorship that's coming. We're going to see this push on September the 30th unless Congress acts. And, we don't want to be China. So we want to make sure that we're able to say what we want. It's no surprise that Zuckerberg would meet and want to do this deal. We understand what he is and his own censorship of Facebook, taking down Joe Biggs was censored, for example, over a Hillary piece. This is commonplace right now.
And of course, with this Chinese-style ID system, basically what this means is that everyone would have something akin to your social security number. It follows with you everywhere. You can't get rid of it, but it's how you access every single thing that you would want to do on the internet. So you don't have to have those pesky passwords, right? Well, China already has something like this. They link it to, it's kind of like a credit score, but they judge you based on your social habits, your spending habits. And actually now there's like a relationship dating website that matches you up. Basically, oh, well, this girl has the same sort of shopping habits as you. Maybe, so it's just like they're collating all of this data on you, telling you who you can be in a relationship with. And if your friends have dissenting political opinions, that will actually affect your credit score. And this is something that they're wanting to bring here to the United States. This is massive. This is huge. This got overshadowed by the debate last night, but we just wanted to really hammer home this is a massively huge and important story.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and say, see, I told you so, that communist Chinese-style net censorship was coming to the web, because it's already here. It's being announced. The way you keep the internet open and free is you get involved more than ever. You don't let them break your will. Go to Infowars.com/app and download an app that cost us over $200,000 and took us over a year to develop, that we're going to be expanding on the next few months with free video and audio and podcast feeds and breaking news and alerts and so much more. Don't sit by and let the internet and free speech be stolen from you. Take action.
Electrify your day with Secret 12. It's like lightning in a bottle. We all have days in which we just can't seem to perform at the level we'd like to. InfoWars Life Secret 12 is designed to naturally energize your body and mind with 2 great tasting and super high quality forms of vitamin B12. Proper vitamin and nutrient intake is essential to keep your body functioning at optimum levels. The reality is, it's hard to take in the proper amount of vitamins we need each day with our modern diets. Secret 12 by InfoWars Life is an easy way to naturally upgrade your vitamin B12 intake and support your body's natural systems. It pairs 2 forms of vitamin B12 into one explosive formula. Vitamin B12 supports healthy energy levels through red blood cell formation and aiding in the body's natural processes, but it also assists with many other functions of the body. Electrify your mind and body and take your health to the next level. Experience the power of Secret 12 at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.